My roommate's girlfriend moved in without asking. Now she's charging me rent. Document everything. Photos, text messages, the email invoice, all of it. Give Kyle a final warning. One last chance to fix this. Initiate formal action if it didn't change. I dug out our lease and read it like it was a cursed scroll. And oh, baby, there was, in bold, no occupants other than those listed on the lease agreement may reside on the premises for more than 14 cumulative nights in any 30-day period without written consent of the landlord. Sierra had been there every day for 2 months. Further down, violation of occupancy rules may result in eviction or penalty fees at the landlord's discretion. This was my golden ticket, and it made what she did next even more insane. I emailed our property manager, Lisa. She's a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who once fined a tenant $200 for zip-tying a fake plant to the balcony railing. She does not play. My email was respectful but clear. I told her there was an unauthorized long-term guest living in the unit, and it was creating a hostile environment. I attached screenshots of the shared rent invoice from Sierra, text messages from Kyle admitting she lives there, photos of Sierra's belongings flooding common areas. Lisa replied the next morning, "Thanks for bringing this to my attention. We'll be investigating and may issue a warning notice." She followed up later the same day. Kyle is not authorized to have any long-term guests without permission. A notice will be delivered tomorrow. Victory? Not quite. I came home from the gym and saw a bright yellow envelope taped to our front door. Notice of unauthorized occupancy. I could have kissed that paper. Lisa had given them 72 hours to rectify the violation or face fines. This was a nuclear option, the start of the end. I took a photo of the notice, texted it to Kyle with a simple, "This is happening. You need to figure this out." No response. 2 hours later, Kyle came home, slammed the door, stomped into his room, and stayed there. Not a word. Sierra? She ripped the notice off the door and threw it away. Then she had the audacity to come knocking on my door. I opened the door and there she stood, arms crossed, face tight with that phony influencer smile rage. "You're seriously trying to get me evicted?" "You're not on the lease," I said flatly. "I live here." "No, you squat here. You moved in without permission. You never even asked. That's not how this works." She scoffed. "You're so threatened by me, it's pathetic. I've made this place better. Cleaner, more welcoming, feminine. You literally sent me an invoice for your scented candles and think my parking spot is a free-for-all." She leaned closer. "I'm not leaving." I closed the door in her face. At this point, I'd had enough of the passive-aggressive nonsense. I created a group chat. Me, Kyle, and Sierra. Me. The landlord has issued a formal notice. Sierra needs to leave within 72 hours, or there will be consequences for both of you. This is not up for debate. Sierra. "Are you actually serious, RN?" Me. 100%. "Kyle, let's just talk about this in person." Me. "No more talking. I've documented everything. I'm done being quiet. Either she leaves or I go to legal next." You'd think with the threat of fines and eviction, Sierra would start packing. Nope. She got bolder. She brought in more stuff, like she was marking her territory. A giant jewelry armoire. An entire makeup vanity that replaced my console table. And I kid you not, a cat. She adopted a cat and didn't tell me. I came home to a litter box in the hallway. I said nothing. I just took pictures and sent them straight to Lisa. Lisa replied, "This is ground for accelerated lease termination. We'll be moving forward with action unless the unauthorized tenant and pet are removed immediately." Boom. I came home from a long day, and Sierra and Kyle were waiting in the living room. Sierra had that smug, "We're about to corner you" energy. Kyle gestured at the couch. "We need to talk." I stayed standing. Sierra said, "We've decided that since I basically live here now, it makes more sense if we formalize the situation." I blinked. Formalize. Kyle added, "We want to make her an official third roommate. She'll start paying rent. That should solve everything." I couldn't help but laugh. She's already broken every rule in the book. You think the landlord will just add her after all this? Sierra shrugged. You could vouch for me. I'd rather vouch for a raccoon. She bristled. We're trying to compromise. I stepped forward. This is a negotiation. You're not on the lease. You're getting my mail. You brought in a pet. You're acting like I'm the guest. And now you wanted to sign off on your hostile takeover? No. Kyle sighed. You're being unreasonable. No, Kyle. You and your freeloading girlfriend are being delusional. Sierra stood up. If you don't want to be part of shared, grown-up space, maybe you should move out. That's when I snapped. This was my space before either of you. I paid every bill on time, followed every rule, and respected this home. I've tolerated more than I should have. But this ends now. If she's not out by Friday, the landlord will be involved, and I will personally make sure you both deal with the consequences. Then I walked to my room and slammed the door. As of that night, I started hearing whispered arguments behind their door. Sierra was pissed. Kyle sounded defensive. The tension was unbearable. She even tried one last manipulative move, baking cookies. She left a plate outside my door with a sticky note that said, "Sorry we got off on the wrong foot. Sierra, 2 hearts." I threw them in the trash without opening the foil. The next morning, Lisa sent me another update. We've issued a final warning. Failure to remove the unauthorized occupant by Friday will result in eviction filings. I smiled for the first time in weeks. Friday came. I stayed home from work just to witness it. Around 3 p.m., Sierra walked out with 3 suitcases and a giant pink duffel bag. She didn't say a word to me. Kyle followed her down the stairs and loaded her stuff into a silver Prius. As she slammed the trunk, she glanced up at our balcony and flipped me off. I waved. Kyle came back up alone. I said nothing. He said nothing. We didn't speak for the rest of the day. Update. The day after Sierra left, Kyle didn't leave his room. Not once. I only knew he was alive because I heard the microwave beep around 10 p.m. and the unmistakable sound of someone crying into leftover lasagna. For 2 full days, he ghosted me in our own home. No eye contact. No, sorry for letting my girlfriend ruin your life. Nothing. I'll be honest. Part of me was relieved. I enjoyed the silence. But deep down, I knew something was brewing. On day 3, I came home from running errands to find the Wi-Fi unplugged, my TV gone, and a note on the kitchen table that said, "You were a toxic roommate. I'm taking a break from this place. Don't touch my stuff." Excuse me? He took my TV, the one I bought, and accused me of being toxic? I texted him immediately. Me, put my TV back. You have 1 hour before I report theft. Kyle, I paid for half the router. I'm taking for now. Me? Great. Enjoy explaining that to the landlord and the police. He didn't respond. But 2 hours later, I heard someone unlock the door. Kyle came in, looking like a man who'd been emotionally sucker punched by life. He dropped the router on the counter and muttered, "Happy now?" I didn't reply. Lisa, our glorious landlord, followed up the next day. Has the unauthorized occupant vacated the premises? I confirmed. Yes, Sierra was gone. And I attached a final set of photos showing a freshly clear hallway, no extra toothbrushes in the bathroom, and the sage-burning altar of insanity now missing from the living room. Lisa replied with professional, yet deeply satisfying sentence. "Thank you. This matter is now resolved. Please notify us if there are further issues." My shoulders relaxed for the first time in weeks. The apartment was mine again. Or so I thought. Kyle decided to stay, but he wasn't done being Sierra's personal attack drone. He started the most petty campaign of passive aggression I've ever witnessed. He labeled everything in the fridge with his name, even the eggs, like Kyle's eggs in Sharper. He put sticky notes on the laundry machine. "Do not remove my load," which, okay, fine, but he'd leave his clothes in there for 2 days. He started using all the hot water, then showering a second time at night just to drain the tank. And the kicker? He switched the bathroom hand soap with dish soap. I don't know why. He never admitted it. But I caught him refilling the pump from under the sink, like a man with a mission. At first, I ignored it. I even respected the petty. But then he started blasting Sierra's old Boss Babe motivational TikToks in his room at full volume, like some kind of spiritual war chant. You ever try to eat a sandwich while someone's yelling, "Don't settle for average. You are a brand." Through the wall, it messes with your brain. 2 weeks later, just when things started to normalize slightly, I got a surprise email from Sierra, not a message. A Google Drive link to a folder titled, Evidence of Hostile Living Environment. Tenant writes, I stared at it like it might explode, but curiosity got the better of me. Inside were screenshots of text between her and Kyle, photos of my bedroom door, a 2-minute video of her doing yoga in the living room with me in the background walking past, captioned, aggressive and disruptive during my spiritual practice. I nearly cried laughing. She had actually tried to document me as the problem. The same guy she squatted next to for months without permission tried to invoice and harassed. But then I saw a second email, this time from a Gmail account with no name attached. Just a heads up, Sierra's threatening to take legal action for emotional distress if Kyle gets evicted. She said she's working on a case. What? She was trying to sue me. I immediately reached out to a friend of mine who's a paralegal. She looked over the screenshots and emails and said something I'll never forget. This is what we call weaponized nonsense. She has no case, but document everything, just in case she files something dumb in small claims court. So I doubled down, downloaded every message, created a full timeline of events, saved photos, video, and even voice memos I'd recorded when she was screaming at Kyle at 2 a.m. I was ready for war. Spoiler alert. She never filed. But Kyle? He found out I'd been prepping a legal defense, and that was it. I came home a few days later to find Kyle in the living room with a suitcase. He looked exhausted. Without preamble, he said, I'm moving out. I blinked. Okay. She's moving in with her cousin. She's convinced I betrayed her. I shrugged. I mean, did you? He sighed. I didn't mean for it to go this way. I thought she just needed a place to land. I didn't think she'd take over, or whatever this became. I didn't say anything. He was already unraveling. Then he added, she said I should have kicked you out instead. Said I had bad masculine energy. Whatever the F*** that means. I smirked. Guess your feminine energy transformation didn't stick. He chuckled, just barely. Then he left. Just like that. A week later, the apartment was mine again. Quiet, clean, no candles, no manifesting, no invoices for eucalyptus-infused nonsense. I replaced the TV. I got my old one back after some text threats. I deleted the Boss Babe playlist Kyle had made. I burned some saved for real and not ironically. I even called Lisa to thank her. She laughed and said, don't feel bad. You wouldn't believe how many tenants try to sneak people and like it's a spy movie. But Sierra, she might take the cake. 3 weeks later, a small envelope showed up in our mailbox. No return address. Just my name. Inside was a bill. No letter, no note, just a typed invoice. Back rent, $300. Shared cleaning supplies, $48. Emotional disruption, $102. Grand total, $450. At the bottom, in cursive, you'll always owe me. S. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped it. I framed it and hung it in the hallway. Update. It's hard to explain how healing it is to live in a place where nothing weird happens for a week straight. There were no more vision board photo shoots in the living room. No motivational shouting from behind closed doors. No mystery herbal concoctions bubbling on the stove. I could walk into the kitchen and find clean counters, my own groceries, no crystals threatening my coffee maker. The silence was divine. I had never appreciated the sound of a fridge humming so much in my life. After a few days, I actually started to reclaim the space. Took down the last of Sierra's weird wall decals, bless AF. Tossed out the incense and manifestation oils she left behind. Rearranged the furniture to match my taste again. Bought a big, dumb 70-inch TV just to celebrate being free. And then I got a real roommate. His name was Brian. Found him through a friend of a friend. Chill guy. Works in IT. Likes Dungeons and Dragons. Overwaters plants. And drinks oat milk but doesn't try to sell it to you. When he moved in, I was honest. Full disclosure. I said, the last roommate's girlfriend tried to manifest me out of my own apartment and sent me a bill for emotional disruption. He laughed, then said, I've lived with worse. He hadn't, but the point is, he came in with zero drama. We signed a roommate agreement, laid down some basic rules, split bills 50-50ths, and, wild idea, we actually talked that there was a problem. For the first time in a year, the apartment felt like home again. From Kyle. About a month after Kyle left, I got a random text from him. Kyle, hey, just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything that went down. Kyle, you were right. Sierra got toxic. I didn't see it at the time. Kyle, hope things are better for you now. I stared at the screen for a good 2 minutes. Honestly, I respected it. The bar was on the floor, and yet this message still managed to step over it. I replied, Me. Appreciate the message. All good now. Hope you're doing better too. He didn't respond. Didn't need to. That was the first and last time I ever heard from Kyle again. Now, Sierra, on the other hand, she popped up 2 months after disappearing like a spilled smoothie behind a couch. It came in the form of an email. Subject line, peace offering? I should have deleted it on sight. But you know me. Curiosity is a hell of a drug. The body of the email read, Hey, I just wanted to say I know things got out of hand. I've done a lot of healing work since then. I've been in therapy, journaling, growing. I'm not the same person I was when we lived together. I'd like to offer you a free 30-minute mindset coaching session to help you process any lingering bitterness. Let me know. I'm here when you're ready to transform. S. Dizzy Sparkles. A free coaching session. After all that, she wanted to coach me, not sue me, not fight me, not apologize. Coach. Me. I didn't reply, but I did forward it to Brian with the subject line, Told you I wasn't exaggerating. He replied, Dude, WTF. Exactly. Remember the final bill Sierra mailed me? The one that said I owed her $450 for emotional disruption? I kept it, framed it. It now hangs in the hallway outside my room, right above the coat rack. Guests always ask, what's that? And I get to tell the story. It's become a legend, like a cautionary tale. Beware of roommates with free-spirited girlfriends who talk about crystals and casually try to evict you with printed Google Docs. Here's the final scorecard. Kyle moved back in with his brother, got a new job at a car dealership, and, according to Facebook, is now dating someone drama-free. Good for him. Seriously. Sierra now markets herself online as a personal energy alignment coach. She has 400 followers and once posted a TikTok of herself crying under a tree while whispering, the ego resists truth. She also runs an Etsy shop that sells glitter-infused salt. Me. Living rent split happily with Brian, planning a vacation for the first time in years, and proudly not being coached through anything by Sierra. The apartment. Peaceful, organized, zero mystical energies. Unless you count the fact that my new coffee machine makes espresso in under 15 seconds. That is magic. If you're ever dealing with entitled people like Sierra, here's my advice. Set boundaries early. If someone pushes them, don't wait to push back. Document everything. Seriously. Screenshots save lives and leases. Don't let guilt override your common sense. Just because someone acts helpless doesn't mean they are. Landlords can actually be your ally if you're respectful and come with receipts. And never trust someone who sends you an invoice with emojis in the subject line. I survived Sierra. I survived Kyle. And now, I can finally do laundry without someone accusing me of spiritual misalignment for using Tide Pods. Life is good.